Merry Christmas Eve, friends. You know, darkness is something that we typically do not seek out. Darkness is something that we typically avoid. Many of us have been taught to fear the dark. From the time that I was probably 6 or 7 years old, when my dad jumped out from behind the corner of a house to scare me on my way home from next door, I learned that darkness is a place that can be dangerous. There's a lot of unknown in the darkness. And metaphorically, we have made darkness into this bad thing. Metaphorically, darkness is always associated with bad. But you know, these past couple of weeks, we've had a couple of major planetary events in which, given the right view of the skyline, one could be able to see marvelous meteorites, or as was the case in the other more recent event, you could see a phenomenon called the Christmas star. In both cases, your probability of getting a good look at either event was greatly increased if you were able to make your way out into the darkness. You see, the more light that surrounds you on the ground, the harder it is to see the light that is above. Now, in my case, our neighbor's son sells these homemade lighted Christmas balls, and his front yard is kind of like his showroom. So taking in these planetary wonders was greatly hampered by the fact that my neighbor's kid is a distant relative of Clark W. Griswold. But I guess the easy fix to get away from all of the light would be to load up and to go out and to find some darkness. I know many town dwellers that did. But how rare is it? How rare is it for us to intentionally seek out the dark? Other than when we're ready to go to sleep. How rare is it for us to seek out the darkness? But you get a better look at the light from above when you're surrounded by true darkness, right? The prophet Isaiah, in one of the scriptures that we point to as a proclamation of the birth of Jesus, the prophet Isaiah said, the people, and this is in chapter 9, verse 2, the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. One more time, Isaiah 9:2. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. You know, we use this portion of Isaiah 9 to point to the birth of Christ. And thinking about the birth of Christ on this Christmas Eve, I wonder how bright was it that first night in Bethlehem? I wonder how bright was it in that barn that first night? I imagine it was pretty dark. I imagine it was pretty dark, yet the light of the world had entered into the world. In the darkness of the barn, in the darkness of Bethlehem, the light of the world enters the world. Yet I imagine it was still pretty dark. And aside from Mary and Joseph, who does Luke in his gospel tell us was there and aware of the light entering into the world? shepherds. And where were they before they came to behold the child in the manger? They were out tending their flock by night in the dark. Now look, I'm not trying to put my neighbor's Christmas light gig out of business. I couldn't even do that if I tried. I like the lights and I like the candles and all that. It is a good reminder of what has happened before. Being able to see light is a great reminder that the true light has entered into the world. But what I am suggesting is that we learn to embrace the dark this Christmas and beyond. But not the darkness that is within us. Let's not get that twisted. No. The light that came into the world in Bethlehem came to reckon with the darkness that is within us. The light that came into the world in Bethlehem also came to reckon with the metaphorical darkness that is around us. We don't need to embrace that either. What I am suggesting that on this night, and perhaps on many nights still to come, we learn how to embrace the physical dark. And not just when it's time for us to go to sleep. What I'm suggesting is that on this night, weather permitting, and on other nights as well, we step outside and we embrace the unknown darkness. Escape the light. Sit. Breathe. Be still. Discover yourself in the dark. Fully alive. Learn how to walk in the dark. There is so much life to behold in the darkness. So much life to behold in the darkness. And don't forget what it was that the prophet said about the people in darkness being able to see this great light, the light of the world. Embrace the darkness, friends. Learn to walk in it. And chances are, you'll see God there. Merry Christmas, friends.